For more than 3 decades, Adobe ruled the creative world like a kingdom with unbreakable walls. If you wanted to create a poster, edit a photo, or design anything beautiful, there was only one gatekeeper: Adobe Photoshop. For millions of people, Photoshop wasn't just a tool, it was the design language. It was powerful, professional, and painfully complex. Even trillion-dollar companies like Apple and Microsoft tried to challenge Adobe's dominance. But despite all their resources, every single one of them failed. Adobe's grip seemed untouchable. Until 2007. That year, something unexpected began brewing. Not in Silicon Valley, but in a small city in Western Australia. A 19-year-old university student with no coding background and no business experience asked one question: why is design so complicated? That simple question would grow into an idea that turned the creative industry upside down. This is the story of Melanie Perkins, the woman who built Canva, the platform that became Adobe's worst nightmare and changed how the world designs forever.
A lot of people really struggle with design because design programs are so complicated, and so we really set out to change that and to make design programs really simple and accessible to everyone. I think it's an incredible fusion of ideas and inspiration and technology.
Back in 2007, Melanie Perkins was just another college student at the University of Western Australia. She was studying communication and psychology, nothing to do with technology or design. But to earn some extra income, she started teaching students how to use Photoshop and InDesign. Now, if you've ever tried to learn Photoshop from scratch, you'll understand what her students went through. Endless toolbars, layers, confusing menus, and shortcuts that felt like a secret code. Within a few classes, most students would simply quit. Frustrated, Melanie began asking why. Their answers were brutally honest. It's too hard. It takes forever to make something simple. I just wanted to design a poster, not learn rocket science. And that's when it hit her. The problem wasn't people's creativity. The problem was the tools that locked creativity behind complexity. Design had become something only professionals could afford, in both money and time. That day, she realized something powerful. Design should be as easy as sliding shapes on paper. She didn't have all the answers yet, but she knew one thing for sure. One day, design would be simple. Melanie shared her idea with her boyfriend, Cliff Obrecht. Both were still university students. Both had no experience in business. But they shared one thing: belief. They decided to start small. Not a billion-dollar company, not even a global tool. Just something practical. Their first idea? Online yearbooks. They noticed schools struggled every year to design, print, and compile yearbooks. So they built a simple website that let students design their own, using drag-and-drop templates. They called it Fusion Books. You didn't need to install anything. You didn't need design skills. Just choose a template, add your photos, and write your captions. It was smooth, fast, and fun. And guess what? Teachers loved it. Students loved it. Within a few years, Fusion Books became the largest online yearbook publisher in Australia. It was Melanie's first big proof that her idea could work. People wanted to design. They just needed simpler tools. Fusion Books became the seed that would eventually grow into Canva. With Fusion Books thriving, Melanie realized something bigger. The same problem existed everywhere, not just in schools, but in businesses, classrooms, and even homes. Everyone wanted to create beautiful designs, but traditional design tools were slow, expensive, and intimidating. So Melanie and Cliff began to dream bigger. What if anyone could design anything? A flyer, a presentation, a business card, all in their browser? No installs, no complexity, just drag, drop, and done. That dream became the foundation of Canva. But turning that dream into reality wasn't easy. Melanie spent 3 years pitching the idea to investors. She faced over 100 rejections. Investors told her, "Adobe already dominates design. This isn't possible on the web." You don't have the technical background. Each rejection hurt, but Melanie refused to stop. In her words, every no was just one step closer to the yes that mattered. She kept refining her pitch, improving her product vision, and networking tirelessly. And then, that yes finally came. In 2011, Melanie attended a conference in Perth where she met Bill Tai, a Silicon Valley venture capitalist. She pitched her idea to him, a simple, web-based design platform for everyone. Bill was intrigued but cautious. He invited her to San Francisco to learn more. There, Melanie got introduced to Cameron Adams, a former Google engineer and a brilliant designer. When Cameron saw what Melanie had built with Fusion Books, he immediately understood the potential. He joined as Canva's technical co-founder. Together with Cliff, the trio began building the foundation of what would become one of the most loved tools on the planet. Finally, in 2013, after years of effort and rejection, Canva officially launched. What made Canva so different wasn't just what it did, it was how it did it. At that time, all major design tools were desktop-based. You had to install them, update them, and pray your computer wouldn't crash mid-project. Canva flipped that entire model. It lived on the browser. Anyone could open canva.com and start designing instantly. That decision changed everything. It meant no expensive hardware needed, no installation headaches, no pirated versions floating around, and instant access from anywhere in the world. When Adobe was still struggling to make Photoshop run smoothly on laptops, Canva users were designing from internet cafes and smartphones. It was fast, light, and beautifully intuitive. For the first time, design felt fun again. Sometimes, success isn't just about having a great idea, it's about having it at the right time. Canva launched when the internet was ready for design tools, and the world was hungry for visual content. HTML5 had finally matured, allowing rich media to run directly in browsers. Cloud technology was booming, enabling fast online processing, and most importantly, social media was exploding. Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter had transformed the internet into a visual battlefield. Brands, influencers, and even small shops needed eye-catching content daily, but most didn't have designers. And right there, Canva stepped in. It became the go-to solution for anyone who needed stunning visuals in minutes. A small business in India, a teacher in Canada, a student in Brazil, everyone could use the same platform. That's how Canva grew from a local Australian startup into a global design revolution. Now, even the best product can fail without a smart business model. And this is where Canva truly outsmarted Adobe. Instead of locking features behind paywalls, Canva introduced a freemium model. You could use it for free, forever. You could design social posts, resumes, or invitations without spending a single dollar. But when you wanted premium templates, stock images, or brand tools, you could upgrade to Canva Pro. This simple model did two things. It removed the fear of trying, and it built massive user loyalty. People started using Canva at school, then for college projects, then for business. It became part of their daily lives. By 2014, Canva had 750,000 users. By 2020, over 30 million. Today, more than 180 million users across 190 countries. Canva didn't just build a user base, it built a movement. When Adobe realized what was happening, it wasn't happy. A small Australian startup was threatening its decades-long empire, so Adobe launched Adobe Spark, their version of a simple, web-based design tool. But there was a problem. Adobe Spark still felt like Adobe. Complicated menus, limited templates, and corporate polish. It wasn't fun. It wasn't fast. Meanwhile, Canva focused on community. Anyone could create and sell templates on Canva. Designers from all over the world contributed to its library, which kept growing daily. Canva also mastered search engine strategy. Type Instagram post template or YouTube thumbnail on Google, and Canva appeared at the top. Without spending billions on ads, Canva reached millions organically. And here's a genius touch. Canva let you design for free and only asked you to pay when you were ready to export or print. By then, users were already emotionally invested in their creation. Adobe, on the other hand, charged up front and lost users before they even began. Canva didn't just compete, it completely redefined the game. Just when everyone thought Canva had reached its peak, it evolved again. In 2023, artificial intelligence began reshaping creativity. Adobe responded with Firefly, its AI image generator. But Canva, once again, moved faster. It launched Magic Write, text-to-image, background remover, auto resize, and brand kits, AI tools designed for everyday creators, not just professionals. Now, anyone could write a prompt and watch Canva bring it to life in seconds. A startup could generate brand visuals. A teacher could create a full presentation. A student could design an entire poster in minutes. Canva wasn't just a design tool anymore. It was becoming a creative operating system. Today, Melanie Perkins stands as one of the youngest self-made female billionaires in the world. Her company is valued at over $40 billion, yet she still runs it with her husband and co-founder Cliff Obrecht from Australia. But if you ask her what she's most proud of, it's not the valuation, it's the mission. To empower the world to design. From classrooms to corporations, Canva has made creativity accessible to everyone. No training, no degree, no fear. Melanie didn't set out to destroy Adobe. She set out to simplify design, and that's exactly what she did. Canva's journey teaches us something powerful. Disruption doesn't always come from bigger budgets or better technology. Sometimes it comes from asking a simpler question. While Adobe focused on professionals, Melanie focused on people. She didn't build for designers, she built for dreamers. And in doing so, she gave creativity back to the world. So the next time you open Canva to make a thumbnail, a business card, or a school project, remember this story. It all began with a 19-year-old student who looked at a complicated world and dared to make it simple.